you might not be able to keep them, following the whole.
But see, there are far more people on that basic level than there are on the more advanced level. So when I have a room full of people, my assumption has to be that we start from scratch.
Right.
We don't assume any understanding.
Right.
And from that, when that beginning level, then we have to climb. It's like a pyramid.
It might be helpful to explain that in some way so that people that are at different levels and different places in the teaching and understanding, of a spiritual path can have that to help them be open through the process.
Yeah, well, problem is, to understand that particular issue properly, we have to be on the ontological level of discussion. So, we have to approach that. It's not, we can't just assume people are ready for that. I've tried like that, and it's been very confusing for people.
Right.
What are you talking about? So, I've learned to back way down and start from the beginning and explain the whole background. And then we can talk about issues like that that make sense because we have the language. We have but without that language, it's very, very difficult. I'm going to have to preach to these guys.
Are you going to set them straight?
Oh man, Florian is, he has the tendency to be a fanatic. I'm going to have to pound on him a little bit.
Well, you should take some time to go out for a walk out in the beautiful spring weather.
Yeah. I'm going to end off actually about 4 o'clock.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it'll still be daylight.
Oh, good. Cool.
You want to take Leah?
Yeah. Here,
It's like people who hurt others always have negative consequences to that act in the future. That's why we have laws. Right? You can't just walk down the street and rob people and kill people and do stuff like that, or destroy property. You wind up in jail. You get punished because that's hurting others. Okay, and similarly, even people in the mode of passion, they're mainly hurting themselves, but their attitude is exploitive. Let me make a lot of money, real fast, and it almost always involves, some kind of illegal activity. So the line between the mode of ignorance and the mode of passion is kind of blurry, but yeah, rascal intelligence. Neville calls it rascal intelligence. The people in the mode of passion are very intelligent, They're forming companies, building skyscrapers, starting all these innovative businesses, flying all over the planet, going to meetings and stuff. But it's all rascal stuff. It's all unnecessary products. Like in the mode of goodness, the occupation, that's a good one to look at. Occupations. Work. Work in the mode of goodness is like being a scholar, a priest, a poet, a spiritual teacher, something like that. Work in the mode of passion is businessman, government. It involves controlling others, exploiting others, making big profits, big plans for taking resources out of the ground and refining them into products that people don't really need, but they're very profitable. And work in the mode of ignorance is like, rock star, prostitute, drug dealer, gangster. That's work in the mode of ignorance. So people are always doing these things in the mode of ignorance that are like self-destructive. They're not only destructive to others, they're self-destructive. Yeah, tell me.
Well, you know how it says in the Gita that there are people who are going to live their renounced life, and then there are people who are going to work in the real world, but do devotional service.
Mm-hmm.
So what about when you put up there, mode of passion, the businessman?
Mm-hmm.
What if the businessman is doing everything he's doing in the sense of devotional service?
Then it becomes transcendental. See, that's a different thing. That's when, what I'm trying to do is create a background for understanding how astrology works right now. So I'm concentrating on the three modes of material nature. But devotional service means that we can take almost any of these acts. Actually, we can take anything in the mode of goodness or passion, not the mode of ignorance. But Krishna doesn't accept that. But the mode of ignorance, the mode of goodness and passion, we can offer those things to Krishna. We can use them in His service. Like we're getting together a plan to have a similar seminar like this, but in a nicer venue with more multimedia support and general level of coolness. So that's going to involve quite a bit of activities with technology and engineering and a lot of development of different media and stuff like that, and all that comes under the mode of passion. Creativity in general comes under the mode of passion. So like music and art and all that stuff are expressions of the mode of passion, but when they're used for Krishna's service, they become transcendental. This is called akarma. Akarma means activity that doesn't generate any karma because it's done for Krishna. So we can take all of the things that we normally would do, that we like to do, that give us pleasure and that utilize our talents and our skills and our creativity, and we can do those things for Krishna, and that removes the karmic reaction. There's no karma from that. No, in fact, if we don't get karma, we get spiritual results from that. That's how we advance in spiritual life. And if you look at any spiritual process, it always involves engaging our material senses, our material energy, and our material activities in the service of God. Any spiritual process. There's some of them are more potent than others because they engage more of our energy or more of our consciousness. Like that. So yeah, that's called karma yoga. Karma yoga is when we take the result of our work and we offer it in some kind of devotional service. Just like you guys helped me come out here to the West Coast, and that's a wonderful application of business, the results of business in transcendental service, because I was able to come out and I was able to meet you all, and we had so many nice talks on spiritual subjects. There was a great wave of spiritual activities that resulted from that. And you could say, well, it's just money, But money, applied in a spiritual way, becomes Lakshmi. In fact, in India, they don't call money money, they call it Lakshmi. It's not dinero anymore. It's the energy of God, the consort of God. So when wealth and affluence is used in the service of God, it becomes spiritual. But it takes great discrimination, it takes great intelligence to know how to use our money in a spiritual way. My spiritual master was an expert at this. He had been a businessman before he became a spiritual master. He had a Ayurvedic pharmaceutical company, and he formulated different Ayurvedic medicines, and he was one of the first person to pre-package and distribute Ayurvedic medicines through normal business channels. Previous to that, the medicines were compounded by the Ayurvedic doctor himself and given to the patient. So he was basically the first person in India to utilize mass production, mass distribution methods. And I mean, he could have become like a huge millionaire you know, like Merck or something like that, in India, because everybody in India uses Ayurvedic medicine. But instead, he gave up all that and he became a sannyasi and started teaching spiritual life. But because he had that business background, he was able to invest every penny, you know, every dollar that he received in donations.
Probably a few miles away.
And my sister-in-law's brother lives someplace here in Scimito. That's our lost his house.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
It was kind of all from all directions. Like,
Yeah,
there was one to the north and one to the southeast, and they were all kind of.
Come on, Google. Sheesh.